Patience gives perspective. Hello, my name's Chet Davis, and this is Reflections. One of the teachers, motivational speakers I really enjoy listening to is a gentleman named Simon Sinek. He recently penned a piece called Patience Gives Perspective. And I really like that. I thought about that. And I believe it's so true that when we choose to practice patience, it does allow us a greater measure of perspective, particularly when it comes to challenging decisions or reactions to challenging people, challenging questions that we have. Maybe it's choices that we have. I know I've always found that if I'm really tired, if I'm struggling with something, I try not to make a big decision, sleep on it, give it a day, give it several hours, talk it over with someone before making that big decision. And that degree of time, which is afforded us by patience, allows us to have different perspectives sometimes than when we make that decision in the moment. Now, there are times in life when you've got to make a decision in the moment. One thing that popped in my mind is when you're driving. Sometimes something happens and you have to make a quick decision. But there are many other times in our lives, especially in these times during a pandemic, when I believe we can and should practice patience. There's an interesting study as I was researching this. It was 2007 by a professor at Fuller Theological Seminary and UC Davis psychology professor, who found that patient people tend to experience less depression and negative emotions. Patient people tend to be more healthy and experience deeper sleep. Maybe it's how coping with the situations of daily life, when we're able to practice patience, we react to them less frenetically. You know that person that gets behind you driving down the street, and maybe you pause for a pedestrian, and or you're observing the speed limit sign because it's a school zone, but they have somewhere to be, and they're behind you honking. They want to speed, and they go around you, and then a few stoplights later, you meet them and they're side by side or just one car ahead. And sometimes that speediness doesn't really yield us much, except that frenetic energy. And when I've experienced that, I know it's not healthy. So that's my challenge for you this week and the days ahead, is to first observe how you're feeling in different situations, and are you feeling patient? Are you finding that you are consciously choosing to make a decision that's thoughtful? Or should you take a moment? Should you take some time? Let me get back to you on that. I'm going to pause on that. Sometimes it's also pausing to listen to someone before reacting, but that's a whole nother topic, right? Is listening to reply rather than listening to understand. But I think it's tied in with patience. When we have patience, several studies went on, and I'll put links to them below, to indicate that patient people, again, tend to experience healthier lives, more fulfilling lives, more satisfying lives. They felt happier. Patient people, they say, tend to make better friends and better neighbors. Practicing patience can also help us for long-term life goals, for achieving something, to put off that immediate gratification, knowing that we can achieve something maybe even more fulfilling over the long term by being patient, by working at it, and not just giving up. So there's a lot wrapped into patience, that's for sure. But I would encourage you to walk away with one thought today, and that is this, that patience, when we practice patience, it gives me perspective. And I believe when we have perspective, we make much better decisions in our lives. My name's Chet Davis, and this is Reflections.